You know that feeling where because you invested so much time and effort into something, you could feel that you were growing past that thing, but just because of how much time and effort you invested in it, you decided to just keep going and just keep going and just keep going instead of simply abandoning that thing. Sunk cost fallacy. Yeah. So I've been there. I was there with my main YouTube channel, the one with 100k subs. And at a point, I almost gave up. But I told myself rather, that I have not reached the peak of success with this channel. I still have not. I told myself I've not done all of the things I want to do with this channel. I've only done a fraction of those things. I have not posted all of the videos that I want to post. I've not touched all of the sub niches I want to touch. The main niche of that channel is hair care, predominantly natural hair care. So I do DIYs, I post styling tips, styling lessons, educational content about hair care. I post a lot of these kinds of things, and most of the topics that I talk about are in demand topics, problem area topics, topics that people need that haven't really been talked about. But there is still so much that can be done. At the time when I felt like I was literally done with the channel, it was because I was recycling a lot of the topics and just bringing a different angle of the same topic. And most times I was practically filming the same video over and over and over again and still posting it. So because I have done all of that and I got tired of the way that it was going, and also at that point in time, my channel wasn't making any significant amount of money, but it was making money. And so I didn't stop because it was making money, even if it was a little money. I just considered that little money extra and I kept going because I also didn't want to just let the channel die before I got to 100k. It's a lot of things that went into the entire process, but when it comes to the way that we set our goals and the things that we are trying to achieve, a lot of the time, because we've invested so much time and effort into something, at that point I'd been creating content for around 4 or 5 years, but I was already tired. And when it comes to my niche is natural hair care. A lot of the tutorials I set out to do on YouTube, a lot of the content I posted initially was done using me as the test subject. So whether it was tutorials, I was doing the tutorials on myself. Whether it was DIY products, I was doing the DIY products and using them on my own hair. There was not really a third party. I was the one doing all of the content, demonstrating all of the usages. I was the one demonstrating how to use all of these things, and I was the one practically carrying the entire load of the channel. So I was literally the main subject. Obviously, it's my channel, but still, when you operate like this, it gets exhausting. And when you're on YouTube for a long time, it can get very, very, very exhausting. You just need to structure your activities on YouTube and structure the way that you post your content in such a way that you are still showing up even when you don't feel like it. When it comes to posting content, a lot of work goes into it. You have to think up the idea, research, you have to shoot the content, there is the editing part, there is the uploading part, there is the research that you do after you've uploaded to pay attention to or highlight what is working well for that content that you have uploaded. It's just a lot of work that goes into it. And when you've been doing this for as long as I have, people may say that 7 years is not a long time, but I think even if you've been doing something consistently for a year, that is long enough for you to get tired to a degree. And so I just kept going. The thing is, when it comes to the way that I do my own things, I generally don't give myself the option to quit for a lot of the things that I do. And there are a lot of things that I do that don't fail. They don't exactly fail. My YouTube channel is not a failure. I've not been a failure in that regard, and I've constantly learned and upgraded my content and my channel as time has passed. But it doesn't matter. There are times where you feel like you can do so much better and you feel like you're not exactly hitting the mark, and you can do so much more when it comes to the outputs that you dish out and how you put out your content. But that notwithstanding, I I did it. I put in so much effort to get to 100K. Usually the target is always 100K for a lot of these platforms. The target for the followers that you get is 100K, because somehow we've come to believe that 100K is the magical number, and when you hit 100K, so many things are going to fall into place for you. A lot of things will start happening for you, and so we strive and we strive and we strive to hit 100K, and then when we get to 100K, we relapse. I'm currently experiencing that relapse for my Facebook page that has almost, if we've not hit 140K followers by now, we should hit it today or tomorrow. But I also did a lot of work to get to 100K followers on Facebook, also the hair niche. And when I got to 100K, there was like this relief that we finally done the 100K, we can rest now. And so I gradually began to pull back my efforts. That one, though, was influenced by the fact that also somewhere around the 100K mark, they changed their monetization. That's somewhere around when I got to 100K, Facebook changed its monetization policy, and so we were earning way less compared to the way that we were earning when I was around 30 to 40K followers. And so a lot of things have changed. There are a lot of things that influence decisions when it comes to the way we content creators post our content and the outcomes we expect. Also, things change, the creators change, and this applies for to me in terms of YouTube and Facebook, whatever platform I am. I have been doing content for 7 years. Hair is just one of my interests, and if we're being honest, hair is not currently my predominant interest. Like, I don't just like to care less about the platforms, because I still care about my audience. I still care that they get value from me. I'm still very much interested in making sure that what they followed me for is what they get from me. I'm very interested in solving their problems. I'm very interested in helping them out where I can. But at the same time, I am not interested in hair. And this is just the honest truth. You get into something and you start posting about something, but as you grow as a person and in whatever field you choose to talk about, your interests change. I'm somebody that has so many interests. There are so many things that I can do that I have not yet touched, and I'm going to touch them one way or another. For example, when it comes to content, my interests for content have been hair. Hair was what I started with. But from the time I started till now, I've also realized that I'm interested in posting tech content. Now, I have not even started to touch tech content. I'm also interested in UGC content. So I have wondered whether I should open up a new channel, a new platform, new pages, and explore user-generated content in its entirety, so that I can do all manner of content, just touch all manner of products, use all manner of products, publish content about all manner of products. That too. I'm also very interested in this creator economy, which is why I'm putting my attention here. And I had tried posting about the creator economy on my main channel, but when you grow an audience of that size, it's hard to bring in an entirely new niche. The creator economy and hair are like on the opposite sides of a line, and so I tried bringing them together, and everything just went down. Views tanked, watch time tanked, subscribers were not coming in, the money was going away, and I was like, it was when the money was going away that I was like, oh, this is not working. And so I just cut it out, and I now tried posting it on my second channel. The second channel is about fitness, so add fitness to that. So we have like 4. We have the tech, we have hair, we have UGC, we have fitness, and then creator economy, so that you can see 5 of my interests. Another thing I'm interested in is art. I'm interested in music. I'm interested in talking about history or horror stories. So people like me just have a lot of interest, and I have not even begun to touch all these things yet. I will see if I can find a way to do that. But for someone like me, I feel like you do something for so long, and it gets to a point where you begin to get tired of that thing, and you start looking for the next thing that you can turn your attention to, that will serve you, that will make you feel alive, that will keep you interested in life, because these are also the things that keep me interested in life. And so finding a way to infuse them into my content, finding a way to infuse them into my daily activities is what keeps me going, if we're being honest. When it comes to posting things like hair is great, but the reason I titled this video, I what did I title the video? Let me quickly look at my notes. The reason I titled this video, I picked the wrong niche, got 100k subs, and now I can't go back, is because my original intent with the hair care niche was to help people, which I have done tremendously. So I have helped so many people when it comes to hair, but I feel quite burnt out. I will still keep going on because I make my money. I have made so much money from hair as well. Like just talking about hair, using my hair, consulting in terms of hair, holding classes in terms of hair, coaching, all manner of things. So I've made a lot of money, but I have definitely felt my disinterest build over the years for a very long time. But I stuck with it and I kept going, and I am still going. The reason I said I picked the wrong niche is that when it comes to hair, if your goal is monetization, direct monetization on YouTube, how to, my main channel falls under the how to category. How to does not pay as high as things like finance, things like technology, things like business, things like education. And it took me quite a while to learn how to structure my content, how to package my content in such a way that it's reached audiences outside of my region. The region you live in and the region that your audience watches your videos from also plays a huge role in how much money you earn. And for the longest time, my audiences were from regions that pay lower in terms of CPM, in terms of RPM. And so I always like to come back to the highest viewed long form video on my platform, which is over 1 million views, but it has made me less money than some videos that have around 100,000 views on the same main channel. So I now had to understand that, oh, this niche that you are in, it's a good niche for real life expertise sharing and all of that, but when it comes to earning directly, it's not the best of niches. And unless you are making millions and millions and millions of views per video, then your earnings may not be that great. And so once I realized this, that was actually when I now turned my attention to making money from other kinds of products, like digital products, like consulting, and like one-on-one coaching is consulting. So I just literally moved my attention and started exploring other forms of monetization, and that's what changed. But the realization that your niche is not exactly the best in terms of direct earnings or revenue can dampen your spirit. And there are other niches that fall under this category where advertisers pay less and YouTube in turn pays you less. Beauty is under there, and entertainment, it depends on where your audience is watching from. So predominantly where your audience is watching from determines how much you are going to be earning. But there is so much that goes into it that I wish I knew from start. For example, if I knew that was not going to pay me so much in terms of, let's just say in terms of AdSense, I may have just picked finance from the start and started talking about finance, started talking about how I moved from one city to another and how I navigated finance decisions, how I navigated finance decisions as a university student, how I navigated finance decisions as an NYSC corp serving in Lagos. Wow, those are some good ideas. So you see, so there, and then the thing with me too is I'm always having ideas. There is no niche that you can put before me that I won't come up with an idea for. And that's one of the things that makes it a little difficult, because you think about all of the things that you can talk about, that you know about because you have experience, whether you know it or not, and you know that if you start talking about these things, there is no way that you won't get better at it. I think about all of these things and I'm like, I just always sometimes feel like I'm just wasting a lot of time doing my hair content. And I won't even lie, it has affected the amount of effort I put into content for hair. In more recent times, like within the past year, I have completely deconstructed my hair journey. I have moved away from keeping my hair in its natural state more often than not. There was a time that I didn't use any extensions on my hair. I was just doing natural hairstyles with only my hair. And so, because of the tiredness, because of the exhaustion, I have completely moved away from all of that, and I decided to just start enjoying my hair, doing styles, rocking it in different ways, and just enjoying the journey. Because another thing is, I've been natural at this point for over 10 years, and so the things that used to be a priority to me when my hair was shorter, they are not priority anymore. I'm not even concerned about the hair getting longer. I'm even thinking of cutting it short. There have been points in my journey where there's a hair journey where I've considered cutting my hair off, starting from scratch so that I can have a new journey to record. It's crazy. I've considered locking my hair. I've never considered coloring because I'm not doing that. But I have considered doing different things, barbing the sides, just having a different experience so that I have a new perspective to teach from. But at the end of the day, I'm just generally tired, and I really don't want to put in that much effort. It's a lot of effort that goes into growing your hair and growing it well. It's a lot of effort, but it's not intense effort. It's a lot of effort in the sense that you need to be intentional about the things that you do. So even if your routine is minimal, you need to make sure that that minimal routine, you are paying attention to the minimalism, and you are not neglecting your hair, because just as other things need upkeep, your hair too needs upkeep. So now I have mastered all of that though, but the general point here is that I'm tired, and that's the entire reason why I decided to try this other niche. Not try, but actually just get this other niche off the ground. Is the reason why I started my 100 days of short form content challenge. Is the reason why I had started my 100 days of content challenge on my main channel, because I needed to find new formats, find new areas of interest, find new things that were going to move on the channel, and find new perspectives to push out content from. And I did exactly that. But when it comes to posting content in general, it's a lot of work. And like I said, when you've been doing it for as long as I have, you tend to get tired. And if you're not constantly reinventing yourself, then you will only be able to do so much. I don't know if there are any other creators that are currently going through something like this or have gone through a season like this. But if that is you, then please, you need to find a way to change things around, to reinvent yourself, to make sure that you are not constantly burnt out or tapped out. And I am rooting for you. It's a long game, but it's a game that is entirely worth it, as long as you find new ways to keep yourself interested in what you are doing. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video.